3 tapes, not 1. That is what Ray J just told Cam Newton on Funky Friday podcast.
How many sex tapes exist?
3.
How many did the public see?
I think 1. She made us do it. She watched them. I had the first one that was long time ago. She made us do more, bro.
And the words coming out of his mouth in this sit down are the kind of words entertainment lawyers were probably watching with their hands over their faces. According to him, Kris Jenner was the one pushing for the second and third recordings to happen.
That's when I told her how it was gonna work. If you do this now, it's gonna pop for you. That's me being a strategic marketer. I seen the vision. Paris and Kim are best friends. She's getting pub. She already has an old one. Paris is killing it. Drop it now. Whether your relationship or whatever is over, it doesn't matter. You can take over. Right then, it's out of my hands. My mom's gonna get involved. She has it from here.
If even half of what he said checks out the official Kardashian origin story is over, stay with me. Because the credit card section alone is going to stop you in your tracks. He says Kim and Khloe took close to $1 million from his actual family before any of them were famous.
So Kim and Khloe was my sister's assistants. Kim was doing closets. They didn't have any money. All that's a lie. They worked for Brandy. Brandy said, go shopping for me. They swiped the card and get Brandy 3 or 4 Jimmy Choo shoes or whatever, or clothes, whatever. And then they'll get themselves like 4 or 5 shoes too. Over and over for months and months and months until they ran up to like almost $1 million.
And there is a moment with a calculator near the end that has to be seen to be believed. If you have ever just accepted the official Kardashian story, wronged daughter, predator X, unfortunate leak, empire built on resilience. This interview is going to make you rewatch every single beat of that storyline. Stay with me, because the credit card section alone is going to stop you in your tracks. And there is a moment with a calculator that has to be seen to be believed. For context, we are roughly 2 decades past the original tape that put Kim Kardashian on the global map. In all that time, the official line has stayed remarkably consistent. Kim was the victim, Ray J was the villain. The footage leaked against the will of everyone involved, and from that scandal, a media empire rose into the billions. That is the version everyone has lived with for 20 years.
He got me all of the sex tape back, and he flew home and got the computer was on the hard drive. And met up with Ray J at the airport and got it all back for me.
Oh, Kim.
Oh my God.
That's amazing.
Ray J just walked on to Funky Friday and started taking that version apart piece by piece. The first thing he wanted Cam to understand, he is not the one keeping this story alive.
We were never supposed to talk about the sex tape ever again. Signed on the dotted line, we all met together, money was paid, you breached the contract, it's still up on Hulu. You keep dropping more gems about the tape and breaching the contract, and so now you're suing me, and you want everything to be sealed in this defamation suit, but the judge just said, no, we're denying that. We want to see all of it.
He sounded genuinely worn down by the whole thing. He kept repeating that this is 2 decades of his life he wants to walk away from. But every couple of years, something happens. An old episode resurfaces, a lie detector test goes viral on social media, a statement gets made on a red carpet, and his name gets dragged through the dirt all over again. This time, he decided he was done staying quiet. Now here is the first bombshell of the conversation. Most of the public believes that one famous tape was the only piece of footage that ever existed. According to him, that is completely wrong. 3 tapes were recorded, only 1 was ever released. The first one happened years before any of the drama. 2 young people dating, nothing planned, nothing strategic, but the second and third sessions, those happened later. In Santa Barbara, and those are the recordings that change the entire shape of this story.
So when she sent us to Santa Barbara to do it, at that point, I was like, it's just weird, and I hate to say it because I was super dumb and I was super naive and I was young. I was like, man, I think I'm gonna f her mama too, because why does she want us to keep doing, as a young man, I'm like 22 or 20, I'm like, I think that they wanna, it's awkward.
Because someone else was allegedly pushing for those follow-ups to happen. He is not saying Kris stumbled onto a tape and made a smart business deal afterward. He is saying Kris Jenner was effectively the producer behind the entire concept, that she pushed for additional footage, that she watched the recordings happen. If true, that completely flips the public story upside down. Because for 20 years, the framing has been that Kim was caught in a private moment going public.
How painful was it for you when your home video went public? Obviously that's nothing that you want to be seen.
Ray J is now telling us those moments were never as private as the world was led to believe. He admitted he was 22 at the time, naive, not thinking about long-term consequences. He even confessed he had moments back then where he wondered why an older woman wanted them to keep filming. Looking at it now through 2026 eyes with kids of his own, he says he cannot believe any of it actually happened the way it did. Now here is the part of the interview that genuinely caught me off guard. Ray J did not pretend to be innocent in any of this. He owned the marketing strategy himself. In 2005, he had been watching what happened to Paris Hilton, the tape, the fame explosion, the way she went from socialite to global brand almost overnight. And he saw that Kim was already inside the Paris Hilton circle. Same friend group, same parties, same scene. So he pitched the entire thing as a calculated career move, a way to give Kim her own version of that fame trajectory. That part, the pitch, the strategy, he took ownership of, but he draws a sharp line at what came next. Once the concept was on the table, he says he was completely out of his depth. He had never met Steve Hirsch from Vivid Entertainment. He had never met Joe Francis from Girls Gone Wild. The entire distribution machine that turned this into a global moment was nowhere near his. Contact list. In his account, that infrastructure came from one place only, Kris Jenner. She introduced him to the right people, cut the deals, built the rollout. Which raises the obvious question, how does a regular Calabasas mom in 2005 have those kinds of adult industry contacts on speed dial? That is the question Ray J wants the public to start asking out loud. Now jump forward to where all of this is actually happening right now. 2023. 2 decades of public back and forth had finally exhausted both sides. Lawyers got involved, a formal settlement was hammered out and signed by everyone.
We did a settlement agreement. And without saying too much, money was paid. They were supposed to put out press to say, hey, we're finally closing this matter. They had their quote, I had my quote, we're ready to go. It never happened. Contracts were breached. Episodes are still up. We were never supposed to mention the sex tape ever again. This is in 2023.
The deal was straightforward. Money would be paid. Significant sums he is not legally allowed to fully disclose. And in exchange, the entire situation would be put to bed forever. No more public mentions. Closed chapter. The other side allegedly did not hold up the agreement. Episodes referencing the situation stayed up on streaming. New comments kept surfacing. Lie detector test segments kept circulating online. In his framing, every one of those moments is a contract breach. So now the family is suing him for defamation. For the very story you are listening to right now, his response is essentially this: you cannot defame somebody with the truth. His legal team requested that the sealed settlement document be unsealed for the public to see. The Kardashian side fought hard to keep it private. The judge sided with Ray J. That document is now headed for daylight. Whatever both sides actually agreed to behind closed doors is about to be on the public record. If you are following along and want more breakdowns like this on Fame Thunder, hit that subscribe button. We drop new videos unpacking the biggest stories in entertainment. Now let us get into the credit card situation, because this is the section that genuinely shocked the comment section under that interview. Rewind to before any of this fame existed. In his account, Kim was working as a closet organizer in early 2000s Los Angeles. Khloe was working as a personal assistant, specifically inside the circle around his sister Brandy, doing errands, running shopping trips, embedded in the daily rhythm of a working entertainment household, and his family trusted them completely. His mom trusted them, Brandy trusted them. They were treated as extended family. The way Ray J describes it, the system was simple. Brandy would hand over a credit card and a list. They would go shop for whatever was needed. According to him, that is where the trust got abused. He says they would pick up the items requested by Brandy, but they would also load up on Jimmy Choo's, designer pieces, expensive accessories, charging it all to the same card, 3 pairs here, 4 pairs there, trip after trip after trip, month after month. He claims the unauthorized charges quietly piled up to nearly $1 million before anyone noticed the pattern. Then his mother handed them her own card, his mother who he describes as someone who watches every single dollar she spends. Within a short window, he says they had run up around $100,000 on her card too. That is what allegedly tipped his mom off. The bill arrived. The charges did not match her actual spending habits at all. He says it went to court. He says they were forced to pay back the majority of what was taken. He claims those court records still exist for anyone willing to dig. Now sit with the irony for a second. For 20 straight years, the public framing has been that the Kardashians are a family of morals and values. While Ray J was painted as a predator who took advantage of their daughter, meanwhile, in his account, they are the ones who allegedly took close to 7 figures from his actual mother before any of them were famous. Now here is one of the most viral moments from this recent interview circuit: the calculator scene. At one point, Ray J casually mentioned he has been with over 11,500 women in his life. Cam Newton just froze. You can watch his entire face glitch in real time trying to process the number. Ray J then suggested Cam was right behind him, around 10,000 of his own. That is when Cam pulled out an actual calculator and started doing the math, trying to break it down by years, by weeks, by days, trying to prove on camera that the numbers were physically impossible. It is one of the funniest unscripted celebrity moments of the year, but it also tells you something about the energy of the entire sit-down. Ray J was not nervous, not defensive, not measured. He was talking like a man who has finally decided he has nothing left to lose. Now let us get to the part that shows where Ray J is actually coming from emotionally. The why now question. Why is he speaking up in 2026 after years of relative silence? His answer was uncomfortably human. He has a son, 6 years old. He has a daughter, 7 years old. In a few years, they are going to start typing his name into Google. They are going to start reading the headlines. They are going to encounter the official narrative that has shadowed him his entire adult life, and he refuses to let them grow up believing their father was the villain in the story.
Tearing down another black family, as they do, over and over and over.
That is the real engine behind the whole interview. Strip away the legal language, strip away the dollar amounts, strip away the celebrity names. This is a father trying to clean up the public record before his kids are old enough to read it for themselves. You can decide for yourself how genuine that motivation actually is. But it is not the angle anyone expected from a Ray J interview in 2026. Now let me bring up a moment that has been floating around for years and finally got more context in this interview. 2022. Kanye West is in the middle of the most public divorce of the decade. Ray J showed up at the home of Kanye West wearing a Black Panther mask and carrying a hard drive. According to him, that drive contained additional footage that had never been released to the public. The mask. Nobody fully understands the mask, privacy, performance, personal preference. He has never given a clean explanation. But the wild part is what he said about Kanye in the moment. He said Kanye was visibly shaken. This is Kanye West, someone who at that time felt unpredictable and seemingly fearless in public, and yet this exchange rattled him. Looking back, Ray J does not talk about it like a flex. He talks about it with something closer to empathy. He says he understood what Kanye was going through. He says they were both connected to the same situation in different ways. Whatever was on that drive, wherever it ended up, we will probably never know. But that moment alone tells you how much unresolved tension has been sitting under all of this for years. Now here is something the casual viewer probably has not thought about. Fighting the Kardashians is expensive. According to Ray J, the family currently has 5 or 6 attorneys working different angles against him in parallel. Multiple cases. Constant legal motion designed to drain his resources. He says the bills run into the millions, so he has had to keep building entirely new businesses just to fund his own legal defense. He pointed specifically to Raycon, the wireless earbud brand he co-founded years ago. According to him, that company is now generating roughly $80 million a year on its own. He started Raycon and other ventures because, in his words, mainstream entertainment is closed to him. Anyone who openly fights this family ends up blackballed from the industries they hold influence over. He pointed to Blac Chyna as a real-time example of what happens to anyone who challenges the machine from the inside.
Just like they tried to do Blac Chyna like that. I was watching them in court, they coming in on fly, just confident. I swear to God, it won't be like that with this.
So he built outside of it. Reality television in lanes they do not control. Consumer products with international partners they cannot pressure. That is how he is funding a legal battle he expects to drag on until 2029. 3 more years of attorney fees, 3 more years of court calendars, 3 more years of his time and money disappearing into litigation. And he dropped what might be the most quotable line of the entire interview. The devil works hard, but Kris Jenner works harder. He laughed when he said it, but you could tell he was not entirely joking. Now here's the part where Ray J said something I genuinely did not expect. When Cam asked him directly whether he sees Kim as equally responsible as her mother, he hesitated. He said part of him still sees Kim as a victim too.
I'm a victim, and I tried to give KK some kind of victim too, because I felt like there's something in there that victimizes her through the people who have the knowledge, who put us through it.
She was young, the adults around her had real power, she was caught in the middle of decisions being made over her head. He pointed out that he was 22 and equally clueless when this all started. The decisions that mattered were made by people much older than either of them. But then he caught himself. 20 years of loyalty to her mother changed the equation in his eyes. Sitting on national television taking lie detector tests was a choice. Letting the false narrative run unchallenged for 2 decades was a choice. Allowing his name to be repeatedly destroyed in public was a choice. That is no longer victim behavior in his framework. That is alignment with the people running the operation. And that is exactly where his sympathy for her runs out. Now let us address the question that hangs over this entire conversation. Did Ray J actually build the Kardashian empire by himself? He answered it himself, and the answer might not be what you expect from a man who could very easily take that credit and run with it. His answer was no. He said building a billion-dollar business takes years of strategic planning, infrastructure, capital, the right relationships in the right rooms, patience. One viral moment cannot generate that kind of sustained outcome on its own. The planning had to come from somewhere with deep experience. In his words, he was just a piece on a much larger chessboard. The credit and the blame in his framework both belong to one person. And it is not Kim, so let us bring it all together. Ray J walked onto a podcast and laid out a series of allegations that, if even partially provable, will reshape the public understanding of one of the most powerful entertainment families on the planet. Kris Jenner directing multiple intimate recordings. Kim and Khloe accused of taking close to $1 million before fame ever entered the picture. A sealed 2023 settlement now headed for public release. A defamation lawsuit being used as a financial weapon. An entertainment empire allegedly built on a strategy he pitched but never controlled. A father trying to fix his public record before his kids learn how to read headlines. Some of this is verifiable. Court records, settlement documents, past legal filings. Some of it is one side of the story versus a carefully managed family brand. But what makes this interview different from anything Ray J has said before is the specificity. Names, numbers, document references, direct legal claims. This is no longer vague shade, this is a structured legal narrative. And the receipts, according to him, are about to drop into the public record over the next 2 to 3 years. So I want to hear from you. After watching all of this, who do you actually believe? Has Ray J finally earned the benefit of the doubt after 20 years of being the public villain? Or do you still see this as one more attempt to stay relevant by attaching his name to a more famous family? Drop your honest answer in the comments below. I read every single one. Stories like this keep dropping every single day. So if you want to stay on top of them, hit that subscribe button on Fame Thunder before the next one breaks.